I finally found a solution for the big bundle of lids. Just store the Tupperware with the lids on them. Thank you, TikTok. The dish and the lid stays together at all times, or at least it should. It's such a small thing, and yet I feel like I'm going to save so much more time because I'm not having to search for lids. In fact, now that I have so much extra time, maybe I can search for the Tupperware that's missing. Who has my stuff? Welcome to week 3 of me turning my house into a soft, cozy home. We started our last vlog with a special delivery, and I have a feeling that I'm going to be getting quite a few more special deliveries. I guess I'm just in that season in life right now. Right now, everything does feel special, and there's nothing wrong with that. So a couple of weeks before we moved, my hubby and I saw the Vivian lamp at Anthropologie, and I don't think we ever agreed on something that quickly. Like, neither one of us was like, oh, I don't know. Like, we both were like, yes, please. 2 to go. We couldn't take them to go, of course, because we had to order them. They don't carry them in the store. But we snatched them up almost as soon as we saw them. Well, we only saw one at the time, but we snatched them up and they were delivered. And now having them in person is just wonderful. They are stunning, in my opinion. I love that they look organic. They are floor lamps, so they're meant obviously to be on the floor, but because our ceilings are so high, we needed something that had a presence and also something unique to put on our consoles, which I'll tell you about later. The organic shape, the juxtaposition of the white ceramic with the natural cording, the linen shade and how tall it is, it's almost taller than I am. It's stunning. Even the metal base that gives it the weight. I think the base and the elongated shade are just the perfect proportions. And I absolutely love how they've used 3 light bulbs so that the light fills the space inside of the shade. It's just gorgeous. These lamps are also sisters, not twins, because no 2 are alike. They really look like art. So I'm sure you're aware that I have been organizing, because that's something that I said that I really wanted to do when I was still at the temporary house. I was really adamant about getting my life organized because I like when things run smoothly. Yes, I am one of those people who will take food out of the container it came in and put it in a different container just so everything looks organized and uniform. These containers are from OXO. I've had them for years, like back from my Crate and Barrel days. So we're talking maybe 13 years now, but now I'm adding more to my collection. I also love the idea of using turntables or lazy Susans to organize my things. Again, you guys, I watch a lot of home shows and I also watch organization shows. And TikTok has been a wealth of information when it comes to finding things on Amazon and repurposing things to use them in a much more organized and resourceful way. So I am sucking up all of that information. I'm vacuuming up all of that information and filing it away in my head, because these days I really am craving organization. I really want to only buy what I'm going to use, and I don't want to have a lot of extra things that just expire and I end up throwing out. I don't want to waste money, but also I just don't want the clutter, because to me, a cluttered mind and a cluttered home They can't exist together. And I have so many windows open in my head that I kind of need for things in my environment to be a lot more minimal, a lot more clean. I'm doing it with my kitchen. I'm doing it with all of the tchotchkes and knickknacks that we amass. And I'm doing it with my wardrobe. I've cut out a lot of things from my home over the years. I don't have a lot of extra, just random things laying around. But now I want to do it in other parts of my life. I probably will never do it with my art supplies or my craft supplies or my books, though. I will always have lots and lots and lots of those things. Because it is really about figuring out what is important to you and what you can let go of. It's not about saying that you can't have this or you can't have that. If you collect thimbles or teapots or toenail clippings, I hope you don't collect toenail clippings, but if you do, that's your prerogative. No one should ever tell you that you can't have those things. But make sure the things that you have are important. Make sure that they're beautiful, they're useful, or at least have some sentimental value. And even with my best efforts, I'm not trying for perfection, because that's not achievable. If it's working, if at least there's some small measure of organization, then I feel like I've accomplished something. So if you've been here a minute, you probably remember when I said that I was aiming, let's just say aiming, to paint my bedroom pink. Well, you guys, I went one even better. I painted my family room pink because I think pink gets a bad rap. You guys have seen my Why Do We Hate Pink video. If you haven't, you should definitely check that one out. Pink is a beautiful color and it's really adaptive to the light, especially this pink that I chose. This is Taylor Tack from Farrow and Ball. I love Farrow and Ball paint. They just have some beautiful colors and I actually love to paint. I'm a painter as an artist, but I'm also someone who likes to paint my house. If you're having a painting party and you feed me, I will come and I will paint. I actually enjoy painting. That's just something you guys should put in your Rolodex, your mental Rolodex for later if we ever meet. If you need someone to help you paint, I'm your girl. I have to be honest, though, I really wasn't sure about this, but then I thought, you know what? I'm going to put my personal stamp on my house because I live here. I'm not creating this for resale value, although there are some things that I am doing for resale value because that's always a good thing. You want to make sure that you're protecting your investment. But the colors that I choose on the wall, things that can be changed easily, like colors and curtains, paint colors and curtains and rugs and fixtures, that's all me. I want to create a home that displays my personality. I was watching one of the home shows here on YouTube and a young lady was saying that she was moving in with her boyfriend at the time. I think they eventually got married and he only had one rule: no pink. I couldn't imagine, but maybe she doesn't like pink like I do. And it's not my business, but in my house, I like pink. And my husband respects that, and I love him for it. He really has given me carte blanche to design however I want to, which he really doesn't have to do. We do share the space, but he says, and it's so sweet, as long as I'm here with him, he really doesn't care. And it's a good thing too, because you know what? Pink walls, pink ceilings, pink makes everybody look better. It's like you're walking around with candlelight, and everything looks better in candlelight. You know what? I am so obsessed with my porch and sitting and looking at my flowers and watering my flowers and herbs and all of the things. I'm even obsessed with my porch with all the construction that's going on around me, and I guarantee you it can get really noisy. But I don't let that stop me. I can't wait until it's closer to fall, though. The temperatures will drop, so It'll actually be really bearable to sit outside. It'll probably be really nice. There'll be lots of rainstorms to watch. That is something I love to do. One of the things that I've done since I've moved here is to consider the outdoor space and what I'm planting. So here I have planted a lime tree and a lemon tree in a container. I am really thinking about creating a food garden. I also have an herb garden as well. I honestly just put a bunch of different herbs that keep bugs away in a big container, but we're already drying rosemary and the mint. So I think that this is going to be a thing. So as promised, I am going to tell you the story of my console table. It is about 93 inches of console. I could have the measurements a little bit off, but it's the table that my Vivian lamps just happen to be sitting on. Well, it's not one table. It's 3 different cabinets from Amazon. I discovered this dupe or this concept on TikTok. I watch a lot of TikTok, but sometimes it could be a good thing. And this lady, she showed this Lulu and Georgia console, and I'm obsessed with Lulu and Georgia. I also love Serena and Lily. I don't like their price tags. And I do believe wholeheartedly in buying good quality items that will last a long time and things that you can pass down. I believe that, but I wasn't ready to spend $4,000 on a console. So the lady on TikTok, she showed an Amazon dupe. You had to buy 3 different cabinets and you had to put them together. They didn't come assembled. It wasn't the whole Lulu and Georgia white glove delivery service. You had to do some work, use a little elbow grease. But it was so worth it in the end because I was able to purchase the 3 separate cabinets for a fraction of the price, put them together, piece them together, and then put them together, literally slide them together. And it looks like one long seamless console. It's a great way to get a substantial piece of furniture for just a little bit of money. And I'm going to change out the knobs on it. I might even rub and buff the legs because I want to add the little gold. And then again, I might not. Just depends. I definitely do want to change out the knobs though to make them a little more whimsical and noticeable because they're just little black knobs right now. And I say, Amazon. But seriously, if you want big impact with a fraction of the cost, this is a great way to do it. Honestly, nobody knows the difference. One word of caution, the doors are a little bit flimsy, but again, nobody should be opening your console but you, right? Right. It's a little office space.
I can still put.
Yeah, you can. If you want to add shelves up there, you can.
He's like, no, I'm not.
I mean, you could just do lack shelves, like
You need
something.
a chandelier, though.
I really don't. I'm probably gonna have the light off the majority of the time.
Well, you probably need some task lighting though.
I have a lamp. But sconces would be really cool.
We measure for that too.
Yeah, I know. I just love that. Like it's a whole work.
It's a moment.
It's a moment. No, I'm just kidding.
For the printer.
It's a whole little
I don't know
workspace.
where, if this is gonna work, but
Why wouldn't it work?
if I move this one, it will.
Yeah,
What is that?
the TV. How cute.
Oh, actually, that's.
Yeah, but what particular bulb?
The new bulb.
Oh, it's not as bright as the others. Well, it has to warm up. It is a slightly different color though. So we are in the third week and I did finish this book, Community Board, in the third week. I talked about it though in my last video. So I'll put a card up here. If I remember, if I don't, I'll leave it in the description box. If I don't remember though, let me know that I didn't remember. I'll put a link to that video. It was my last one, so you could just go back to the last video if you want to. But I talked about this book in that video. It's just really a wholesome little cute book that I decided to read because I like wholesome little cute books. And you guys, I am seriously loving the baths. I am seriously loving. This is bath number 2, and I am putting some of that yummy Epsom salt. I think this is the citrus one. Who knew that like Dr. Teal's had all of these different like flavors and things? I didn't know that. I'm saying flavors. You don't drink bath water. Fragrances. I didn't know. I didn't know about the Dr. Teal's bath scrubs. I've got the Way. I've got the Truly because I'm going to shave. I have the under eye masks, gel thingies, so that my under eyes won't be so puffy and dark. I'm excited. I'm a bath girl, you guys. I'm off to a late start today. It's 9 o'clock and I'm just now really getting up. Summertime, y'all, so I don't function so well in the summer. I'm the opposite of everyone else. Winter is my time. But I guess it's raining, so the banging hasn't started. And I was able to actually sleep. Look at that view. Oh my God. Guess they are banging, but they're working on the inside. The house is all framed now. The roof is on, so it's not as loud. That's where our patio is going to be. That's where it's going to start. Patio here. Fire pit out there. We have enough room for a pool, you guys, but that would definitely have to come much later. Ooh, the sun is sunning. So I guess while I'm here, I'll address the elephant on the balcony. I bleached my hair, y'all. I found a bleach that doesn't damage your hair as much. I mean, all bleach is damaging. Who am I kidding? But this one's not too bad. And I think I like it. I'm going to play around with some color this summer, so stay tuned for that. I don't have on my sunscreen. Let me go in the house. I brought plants up here. I thought that maybe my fiddly figs would like this room better because there's more light. There's like three basically windows here, sliding glass door, and then windows. So I thought they would like it here more. I have to make sure they get the morning light, and I need to get rid of these boxes too. Like, yeah, this stuff right here, this is easy. I can pull this out. These are like samples from 100 years ago. They probably should just go in the trash at this point. They're probably not even good anymore. But I'll go through them and see like what's in there, if it's anything I can use. Yeah. Lots of perfume samples too. All right. Well, let me lift this window. Oh, and this one. Oh my gosh, lots of shades. Way up there. So the light can get in. Because this plant is pretty tall. This fiddly fig is pretty tall. There we go. Get some morning sun in here. I have more plants to bring up here, but I also need to put my desk in here as well. This stuff has got to go. Well, anyway, happy Monday. The day before the 4th. That's where we are now in time. Tomorrow's Independence Day. And whether you celebrate or don't celebrate, it is a holiday. So I don't want to be doing too much tomorrow. But I got some things I need to get done right now, which require me to go outside. So I will take you guys with me. But first, let me put on some sunscreen and stuff, because I can't be out there without my sunscreen. And I'm looking a little, like I just woke up. All right. So I have a dilemma. Actually, two. One, we have to put the IKEA kitchen together, or the IKEA countertops, which span from that wall to this wall. And then our sink we have to put in. We have the sink already. We have all of the things. It just needs to be done. And then this is our working pantry. It's not fully stocked yet, but hey y'all, it's not fully stocked yet, but this is what we're working with. This will be the food pantry that we use. This will have or house working food like brown sugar and psyllium husk powder, which I know is fiber of some sort. My daughter is very much into healthy foods and she cooks great meals for us. So I know that she uses the psyllium husk powder. And also the arrowroot powder. So I have things that we eat. Raisin Bran, Cinnamon Checks. I do believe that is Frosted Flakes. But it should be corn flakes, because she also uses corn flakes as breading for chicken and things like that because she's gluten-free. Corn flakes are a great substitute for putting flour if you're like frying chicken and stuff like that. We have oatmeal. My husband likes instant oatmeal. I don't really like instant oatmeal, but we have the rolled oats. So there's that. And then just some different spices and glazes and toppings, things like that. But this is the working pantry, and my plan for the working pantry is to keep it working. Our potatoes are here. We have various different types of potatoes in there. It's to keep it working. So it should be things in, things out constantly. It should never get filled with a bunch of food items that we're not eating or using. If we're not eating it or using it, it should not be here. Vinegar down at the bottom. And this is a work in progress, but the plan is to make this like an in and out type of pantry. Now, will we have back stock of things? Like right now, we have the gluten-free cornbread. I make my dressing with cornbread, but I typically only do that a couple times a year. We got so many because we couldn't find it around the holidays, but that's gonna expire in August. So I'm gonna need to make something with some cornbread soon. Or it'll go to waste, and I'll come up with something because that's going to expire soon. But I also need to, now that I know that and I have that mental note in my head, I also need to go and purchase more so that when Thanksgiving comes and Christmas and I make my cornbread dressing and we make cornbread more when it gets colder, because that's typically when we eat cornbread, I'll be able to find the gluten-free version for my daughter. So stuff like that. It's keeping a handle on these things. It's actually knowing, like, what do you have in your pantry? Like, we have peanut butter. I probably need to get another peanut butter because we eat a lot of peanut butter. So we'll have 2 peanut butters. If we buy more, I will store the back stock somewhere else. But the key is to not have too much back stock. It's to have just enough where I have something on hand and I don't have to run out and buy things when I'm in the midst of cooking or making something. I have enough on hand where I can just grab it, but then also remembering that it needs to be replenished. So that's what I'm working on. So far, this is good. We have changed the way that we eat. So we don't have a lot of like prepackaged foods anymore or preserved foods. We do still really like chips though. And I have not come up with a way to store my chips once they're opened that is to my liking. So I'm gonna have to I'm gonna have to do some research on that. That's enough about the pantry right now. I don't want to overwhelm you guys. This is just one of the things that I have been working on. And here is a little more of what needs to go in there. We have downsized a lot of our prepackaged foods though, and are trying not to purchase more. But like something like this, which I use in my potato salad. I'm not gonna give that recipe, but it is delicious. I may show you one day, but I'm not gonna give out the recipe. I use this a lot, but these expire like pretty quickly. Like this one expires in October, so I will definitely have to use it before Thanksgiving again. But it's summertime. I know I'm ashy, y'all. It's summertime. I will probably make potato salad because, you know, we'll barbecue. We've already done salmon Sundays twice since we've been in the house. My husband could not wait to get on the grill. And I almost made potato salad yesterday, but I changed my mind. And I'm glad I did because we only have one other person come over. But salmon Sundays is a thing around here. And there's no telling who'll be here on a Sunday having some salmon. I'm gonna go outside now because I have to repot some plants.
All right.
There's a desiccated frog.
Yes, I know. Close the door.
I mean, it's not gonna get in.
I know. It was in. I kicked it out.
You did? You killed it.
It was already dead.
How'd it get inside?
Let's finish. Okay. So the slope from that corner to this corner is about that high.
Yeah, I got it.
Okay, so and the wall is gonna be like 20 inches to make this whole thing level. So when you walk out, this whole thing will be straight.
Right. So it'll feel like it's straight, even though
this side will be elevated.
So this square.
Yes, this whole square.
It's signifying where it'll be elevated.
Yes.
So my question is.
So when it's going this way, this will get smaller. This way.
Okay. So there's a decline.
Right, and then it'll get smaller this way too.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
So
you want the privacy? Okay.
Because we need privacy at least on one side,
So
even if we don't do it on you know.
Okay, so hold up. So what we could do?
Yeah.
Of this stone.
Yeah.
So that we don't have to take it from the floor. So we would just take it probably like 3 feet.
Yeah, it would be shorter. It would not be shorter, but it'd
be shorter on this side and longer on this side.
But it'll all be the same height.
Right. It'll be longer on this. Longer on this side. Short. Well, no. This goes away. When it comes to about right here, it'll be this big.
Right.
But I had to get rid of the whole thing.
Okay.
And then just to make it level, because this is where I want to do the kitchen.
Okay, so you're going to do the kitchen. So you would need some sort of... luck would have it, the car just like decided it wasn't going to work anymore. It pretty much overheated. I think it was our alternator. So yeah, happy 4th. Look at that face. It's going to be okay. Okay. What are you going to do? Okay, but I had a request.
What was your request?
I requested that we put the drop zone in the garage. Why? We have the space.
I just said no.
Okay.
That's it. No, I might can like sand some off maybe.
I'm toying with the idea of fixing the shelf so it'll fit.
She's not fixing stuff. We're gonna cut that damn cylinder down. That's what's gonna happen.
What's wrong with husbands today? Wow. At this point, disregard everything I said about the pink walls and how he was letting me do what I wanted to do. I thought I was the designer here. I thought he just wanted to be with me. Isn't that what I told y'all earlier? I guess not. He's clearly still salty about his car. Go ahead.
Well, I want to figure out what to do with it first.
I mean, you can make tea. You can steep it for tea. You can also freeze the leaves.
Yeah.
Because I think I don't use a lot of basil, but I feel like maybe now I want to start. I'm gonna harvest some lavender too. Lavender and mint.
Maybe I can dry it at the same time.
But they just closed, so.
So you managed to tangle yourself up.
Already?
Okay, good luck with that.
So at 3 weeks in, this is pretty much where we stand. I am simultaneously going through all of my old stuff and things that I don't need or want anymore, trying to decorate the house and bring it up to a level where we can actually live in it. But also I'm experimenting a little bit too. So there is really a lot going on. Like I'm messing around with this hide rug. I want to put it here, but the scale is really just off. I like the way that it looks color-wise, and I like how it feels under my feet. But obviously, this is one of those things where I'm just going to have to keep playing around with it until I can figure out what it is that I really want to do. And we have ordered the other section of the couch, so that should be here when it gets here. That's kind of how things are. Things come when they come. There are also some things that I didn't really consider when I was purchasing things for the house or trying to design the house. Like I didn't consider that we had increased the number of bathrooms that we have in our house. Also, the configuration of the primary bath is very different from the configuration in my previous home. So things that I didn't think about or consider, I'm now having to consider. For instance, I talked in the first video about how my hubby had a towel rack on his side of the bathroom. There's no towel racks near the shower, and I don't have any type of towel rack on my side. What do you do with that? Or something like having double trash cans because our vanities are separated instead of having a double vanity side by side. These are very little trivial things, but it's usually the details. It's the little things that get you. It's the little things that cause you, I think, the most stress. There are a million little things that you have to consider, especially if you want things to be a certain way. And one of the lessons that I'm learning during this process is that we live here. We're going to be living here for as long as we're going to be living here. And these things take time. One thing I'll never understand when it comes to home decor is why they always put the stickers on the most visible part of whatever product it is that you're using. And you can't get it off. And then when you do get it off, it's sticky. Now the trash bag is going to stick to the trash can. It's always something. Another thing that I've noticed, especially with this move, and part of that has to do with how we moved because we had things in pods. We had things in pods from like 2 years ago when our washer upstairs flooded our first floor, and then we had the temporary house. We kind of brought 3 houses together in a way. I noticed that we have a lot of trash and a lot of recycling. There are a lot of packages that are coming to the house. And again, that is something that I really didn't consider. I didn't consider how I was going to handle. So if I can give you any word of advice or anybody a word of advice on moving, especially if you're moving a whole home, keep these things in mind. There's a lot of stuff and you're going to have to find a way to deal with it without pulling out all your hair or cutting it all off like I did mine. It can be a lot, but you know what? It's not impossible. So, clearing off the cabinet area, this area here, clearing all of this off because tomorrow they take down this janky backsplash. So what do I mean by that? Let me get the lights. Okay, so I talked about this briefly when we were discussing the house tour, I think the pre-closing house tour. All of this needs to move because these shelves are coming down. I'm glad they're coming down. One, because this one is so high, I can't even reach. Like, what could I put up there? I'd have to get on a step stool and put something up there. So they were too high to begin with. This one, I definitely needed to come down a little bit lower, but that's really besides the point. So one of the reasons why they're taking this down is because it was supposed to be horizontal instead of vertical. Just a design trick, because with ceilings this tall, most people won't notice it, but because I'm me, I notice it. It literally gives you an arrow. These are little arrows guiding your eyes up. So when you walk into the space, at least when I walk into the space, I immediately look up at that backsplash and at that hood vent and at those shelves, which is fine. But when you do that, you notice that they did not take the backsplash all the way into this area. For some people, that's probably not a big deal because it wasn't supposed to go all the way to the end of that wall. So they probably figured just put it right here in the middle. But because the cabinets don't go all the way to the ceiling, to me, it looks weird. Also, in the paperwork, they were supposed to take it all the way over here, just to give the illusion that at least half of the wall had tile on it. That's a design preference, but those were the instructions. And also, it was supposed to be horizontal, which I feel like, again, is a design choice. But for me, I didn't want to give this effect of like we're building a tower to the heavens. I wanted it to be horizontal to bring everything down. I'm a small person. I'm not tall. So I'm not necessarily impressed by the height of the building. It's beautiful, or of the house. It's beautiful, but I'm not impressed by that. I'm a smaller person and I don't want to feel like I'm always having to climb up on things to get things that I need, or that this is a big, expansive room. So for me, it was important just for my own sense for the way that I think and the way that I am, it would have been better if it was horizontal. But if that's not all, I mean, I don't know if you can tell here on the camera, but a lot of these tiles are actually crooked, and it may be a little hard to see on the camera, but it's almost like a wavy ocean motion if you look too long at the tiles. And what's funny is the ones on this side do kind of lean more in this way, and the ones on this side lean the other way. So in certain places, you can see it more than others. They're just not straight. Although the tipping and the motion is not as bad on this side, it is bad on this side. Like you can see, like it's not straight. And here in the corner, they just didn't even try. Like they just, I mean, I don't know what happened here and even here. And these things are visible. Some areas I noticed didn't even get grouted very well. It's not the worst tile job, but for the price you pay for a home these days, it's got to be better than this, y'all. Yeah. So it's all coming down. Yeah, here, I don't know if it's reading on the camera, but that's one area where there's definitely a tilt to the tiles. If I hold the camera perfectly straight, there's a tilt to the tiles. So that's gonna go, and that over there is gonna go, and we are back in a construction zone, basically. So I have to finish clearing up all of the things off the counter, and probably this side of the counter too. I'll probably clear this stuff off too, just so when they're working, they won't have to deal with anything here. Yeah. And so that's it for this week. I'm going to finish clearing, but I'm going to leave you with this TikTok that I made. I had to repot some fiddly figs. I thank you all so much for watching. If you haven't subscribed, please do. Like this video, comment if you have any questions or you need to remind me of something, because you know I forget. And even though I'm loving you and leaving you, I'll see you in the next video.